Hey everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz, joined with Ross Caruso, partner in crime today. Busy day today.
Yeah, very busy. You know, something that was rare. Thunderstorms in January.
Yeah.
Not only that, we had an enhanced risk, which never before since the SPC Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma brought in the enhanced risk about 8 years ago.
Yep.
So pretty crazy to see some of the weather we've had so far today.
I've been on the job 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Week 1, week 2, week 3, thunderstorm.
Yep.
Right? The difference this time was really unusual as we go back in hindsight and look at this. We did have several severe thunderstorm warnings across the area, right? When I think thunderstorm, and probably a lot of you think thunderstorm too, you think thunder, lightning, storm, right? We had severe thunderstorm warnings today, several of them across central Ohio. Very little, if any, lightning and no thunder.
Yeah, and that's a tag that, you know, sometimes we'll see with these warnings being that, you know, if you see a severe thunderstorm warning, you know, sometimes our main focus, like today, was winds. That was the primary threat. And, you know, it could be isolated and not totally married that, you know, if you have a severe thunderstorm warning, you have to have strong winds. There's also potential we can deal with strong hail, too, and, you know, so on and so forth, and a combination of things. But definitely was a rarity of what we saw today with the severe thunderstorm warnings here. And this is actually a quick little radar loop that we have showing you where we had these warnings kind of popping up. Notice where we see these severe thunderstorm warnings start to pop up near the 5 o'clock hour across central Ohio. All the lightning north.
I know, and the weird thing about that is we were watching this line literally with Madison and Reich earlier this afternoon. The line was marching, the storm started popping, or the rain started moving in very quickly. We started getting reports of some wind damage and gusts 40, 50, 60 miles an hour west of Dayton, but even then there was no lightning.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't until the storms got further off toward the north and rocked Cleveland around 7, 8 o'clock that we saw that lightning just explode. So what's the reason behind that?
So fortunately with the National Weather Service, being that it was going to be an active severe weather day, you know, the Storm Prediction Center put out an extra balloon launch with our friends at the National Weather Service office in Wilmington, Ohio. And what we saw from the balloon launch this afternoon, they do it twice a day, but under special occasions like severe weather, they want to take a look at some of these systems as they get closer in and get the most accurate information to then put into their models. We saw a lot of dry air. Dew points in the 30s and 40s. So a lot of that dry air, it really didn't allow for an environment for a lot of these, you know, heavy showers. We didn't really see any rain over about a quarter of an inch, which for severe weather, something like this, you would kind of expect, but being that it is January and while we were able to make it to 60 degrees, we had a lot of things in favor to kind of keep these storms not as tall, but we also had enough strong winds aloft into the mid-level parts of the atmosphere to where, you know, we're able to see these changes where winds from, you know, higher up in the atmosphere mixing down to the surface, bringing those strong winds. We had wind gusts at Dayton Airport about 64 miles an hour. So no lightning potential, but very strong winds, which was why we saw those severe thunderstorm warnings.
And OSU Airport 61 miles an hour too, Don Scott Airport. So when you look at that situation, we may never see something like this again with that enhanced risk in January. The storms coming through, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings without thunder and lightning, but it really was the wind. And it just goes to show what happens 6, 10, 12,000 feet above our heads, you know, direct impact on the weather that we experience down here. And that's really exciting for us weather nerds, but that translates to you as the audience as to why today was really severe thunderstorm warnings, the wind being the main culprit, not much, if anything, in the way of hail, and rain, not a factor. So,
not whatsoever, but definitely a different story up to the north, up towards Cleveland, where they're still going to be dealing with storms early tonight, but it's looking like things will be winding down for us
And we
tonight.
were also fortunate enough, too, that most of our wild weather came when it's still daylight.
Yeah.
They are unfortunate in that it's coming through after dark tonight. So so we're going to wrap things up, but quickly before we do, just a quick nod to ahead. We're going to be on 11 o'clock tonight and tracking another winter storm possible for this weekend.
Yep, I'll be keeping a close eye on that as well on 10 TV News Weekend Edition, and it's looking like winter may be returning as well.
Jerry Martz, Ross Caruso, have a good night.